Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Slam Talk Sports. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. It is 4:02 p.m. and it is finals time. Oh yes, Melbourne is swept up in finals fever. I might have a little bit of a cough myself, but in a couple of hours' time, I'll have full-blown finals influenza. I cannot wait for the big game of the MCG tonight. But of course, there was an absolute clinic put on last night in Adelaide by the Collingwood Football Club. I can't believe it. Guys, I don't even need to talk about the handles. Slam Talk Sports, you know how to find me, Instagram, TikTok, and now Twitter. Oh yes, check out my NFL awards thread from last night. I posted at 3 a.m. I am a bit of a nuffy. I'm a bit of a degenerate. I'm a little bit loony at the moment, guys, on no sleep because there's so much sports on. Talk about that later. I want to talk about the clinic put on last night by the Collingwood Football Club against the Adelaide Crows. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The Pies are going to win the damn flag. I'm telling you right now. As soon as we admit that they are the GOATs, they're the best to ever do it, that we can't count them out, that the previous form lines mean absolute jack shit when it comes to these damn pies, the sooner it'll be better for all of us. We need to just admit the Pies are the GOATs. Now, instead of having me bloviate about Collingwood and how good they are for the next 10 minutes, I better call up a 50-year-plus member who knows all about the hardship and the heartache of the collywobble era. That era is long gone. It is dead. It is buried. It's been exorcised, and it will not rise again like Lazarus. The Pies are absolutely back. They are now the 1 seed after beating the Adelaide Football Club last night, and they have a home prelim at the MCG. Here to talk about it all is my dad, Michael Duncan. Better give him a ring right now. We'll try calling Dad again. Dad, do we have you?
Yes, I'm here. Darcy. How are you going?
I'm good. I heard you haven't been to bed last night. You were partying all night in Cairns. Collingwood, what happened?
Well, I sat up and watched the football live up here on TV with Mark, who's Mark and Danny up from Melbourne for a week. So I sat up with him, and the two of us watched it in the media room, watching TV, watching Collingwood. What a great game! Wow, what a great game! It was a very, very, very tight game. And Collingwood's defence was absolutely sensational. Darcy Moir and Frampton, they played so well, and I reckon they may have been the difference in the sides. I think certainly Darcy Moir. What was it, 9 or 10 intercept marks? That was sensational.
Yeah, Moore played an exceptional game, Dad. I had question marks about your defence, particularly your full back line going to this game with the size of Fogarty, Thilthorpe and Walker. But that's the best I've seen your defensive unit play in probably 2 months. And Moore, as you said, had, 9, 10 intercept marks. Probably the best game I've ever seen Darcy Moore play. And a bit of a shocker, wasn't it, considering the poor form he was in. You just pieced it together last night, and it was your pressure as well. You brought it from the get-go, pressured every contest. You tackled really well. It was a perfect finals performance, and you got to put your faith and trust in Craig McRae. He's able to produce these sort of performances from your players so often.
No, he's good. And also the Jordan Ngoe played a great game. Started a bit slow, but his handballs were fantastic. He brought so many players into the game. He was good. But you look on the I haven't really had a good look at the stats, but I would rate Darcy Moore, Jordan Ngoe, and Billy Frampton. They've got to be in my 6 best. Darcy Moore best on ground, in my opinion. But the usuals played well for Collingwood. The Dacos brothers, they were good. Nick Dacos' tackling especially was first class. The hyphenated bloke for Adelaide, he was off. He was off. I've seen Neil Bullen play some good games when he was at Melbourne, but he was off last night. He was off. He made a terrible, terrible error late in the game where he held it. If he thought he couldn't have kicked the goal, he should have passed it off earlier. In the meantime, Collingwood have got their unit, their side all stacked up. So they were having a bit of a run then. So Neil Bullen, if he was playing for me, I would have just taken him straight off and don't bring him back on. And I thought he was. He
did some good things earlier in the game, Neil Bullen, but they made a lot of errors late. They didn't handle the pressure, as I said before, and it was their inability to execute from the half-back line. They had no flow. They had no run. Collingwood just shut down every attack, and the intercept mark game was Well, the best intercept mark game in history in the first half, Dad. It was a brilliant game plan. I've got to question the coaching also of Matthew Nicks, because he allowed Darcy Moore to do that. How often do you see someone match up on Moore or really challenge him and engage him like we saw with Patrick Voss and other forwards in the last couple of months? Adelaide put no work into Moore, and if he's able to set himself up and get that confidence, then he can be a dominant presence. We don't forget here, he was All-Australian a couple of years ago and a premiership captain. He's got this in him. He's got that calibre.
Yeah. While I'm mentioning Essendon Adelaide players, I thought Tex Walker. No, Essendon. No
Essendon talk at the moment. Keep it to Collingwood and Adelaide and keep it brisk.
That's right. Now, Tex Walker, great game, kicked 2 goals, could have kicked 4. Played really well, Tex. His 300th game, he can be proud of his effort. Thought he was okay, but he wasn't dominant.
He was good in patches, but God, he made a huge error at the end of the game. A huge error to handball it when he was in on goal. He handballed it backwards. I mean, that is one of the talking points of the game and something he'll be remembering going into next week.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's it was definitely off. But I watched the replay again, so their forward line, Pedler was good for Adelaide, I guess. He was good, but Dawson, no, and Fogarty, no.
Well, I think Dawson has been one of the best players this year, one of the best kicks. He was using it terribly. He was a butcher last night, and he's someone that's usually so composed. If you look at Adelaide's team, Dad, besides Laird and Tex, who's really played in finals? Collingwood have got all these premiership players. I think that experience showed, and it showed straight away.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree, but Lipinski was good for Collingwood too. He's an integral part of the side now. I thought that's right. Isaac Quaino, that's the one I was thinking about.
Of course, I was waiting for you to mention him. He was probably second best on in the first half behind Moore.
But aren't they morons in Adelaide? Kept booing him.
I know.
Unbelievable. Crikey.
They've got nothing much on, Dad. So they were figuring out what they're going to boo. They're going to boo about earlier in the week, and they booed everyone. They booed every single Collingwood player, but they were booing Dacos. Did they forget he's going to have 30 touches when he does that? Kicks a brilliant goal in the first half. He really controlled this game. We haven't really mentioned Nick because he missed a few kicks early, but geez, when he gets it right, he is still the best kicker of the football I think I've seen. He's that good with his foot.
Yeah, what about his goal? That was fantastic.
That goal, yeah. With the player draped across his right foot, he still doesn't even sneak it in. It was dead straight. Collingwood didn't miss, literally. Every time you try to have a kick, a running shot at goal was straight to the sticks. Still side bottom kicks, 3 goals as well, just as we're all ready to write him off. I think everything went right for Collingwood last night. It was a perfectly executed game. De Goey, he's one of those players that you just got to get to the finals, isn't he, Dad? He's never going to play 18 to 20 games, but I'm pretty shocked at how good he's been the last 2 weeks. He looks absolutely back to his best.
Correct. But the thing is with Nick Dacos, he plays a lot like his father, Peter. He looks slow because he plays he's got a low centre of gravity, but he's just way he can turn. Give it a chance to watch Peter Dacos, some of his goals and how he ducks and weaves through packs. His vision's like his dad.
Strong gravity, very strong through his hips and through his abdomen, similar to Gary Ablett Jr. As someone you couldn't really tackle or knock off the ball.
No, I agree. And Josh loves Big Cox being in the side, doesn't he? Because Cox, every time he takes the mark, it takes about 3 minutes.
He just runs behind him. Yes,
he just runs around. He's going to feed it off.
I noticed that a lot, especially even Pendles does it as well, is that get out of it, Coxie. We don't need you to kick the ball. Just give it to the smooth movers, the good left footers. So everything went right for Collingwood last night. You head now to a prelim final at the MCG. How's your confidence level going into that game and to potentially a grand final? After being back in there, a couple of years ago, you won the flag in 2023. How are you feeling going into a game in 2 weeks' time?
We get through the prelim, we'll just about win it. But the two prelims are they're hard games. They're the best games. They're the best games for the year. I'll definitely be going to Collingwood. Who will they be playing? They'll be playing. I've got no idea.
We've got a big game tonight between Geelong and Brisbane. I would favour the loser to snake back around and play you in the prelim.
Okay, you think that Adelaide will go out in straight sets there?
Well, you can't play Adelaide again until the grand final. You just played them in the qualifying final. I've got big worries about Adelaide and how they played last night. They really didn't handle the pressure of that game. And we haven't mentioned it once, but God, Isaac Rankin is such a fantastic player. They missed him so sorely last night. When things got tough, they didn't have him to weave his magic. I think they're going to really miss him, and they could go out straight test because of it, Dad.
No, he's abuse of the Collingwood player, and everyone knows who it is, but I'm not going to name it now. That was ridiculous. You get if he gets back for the grand final, he's got to come and play in the grand final.
Toughest game of the year. He's missed a month. It's not going to be easy.
He would have been a difficult player playing. No, he could have helped them a lot. But you look on while we're talking. I've had a bit of a look through the Adelaide players, and I've got over half their side. I don't think did enough in the game at all. Like you talk about contributions and player ratings and that, but I could run through Dawson, no good. Curtin, no good. Rory Thilthorpe, okay, right? Yeah. Nick Murray, don't even know who he is, but he was useless, right?
He's a full-back.
Taylor Walker, okay, right?
Yeah. O'Brien, not great. Peatling, not great. Fogarty, not great.
Michael Lanning, no good.
He's missed Taylor, 6 weeks.
No good.
I told you, everyone was down, Dad. You don't need to read the entire stat sheet because I reckon that Adelaide had about 3 or 4 good players last night. I couldn't outside Josh Worrell and Rory Laird, who had any sort of impact in that game besides Luke Pedlar, who kicked a couple of goals, Tex missed a couple of goals. And Collingwood were just far, far too good for Adelaide. I think it's going to be very tough for Adelaide to snake back around and potentially play in a grand final because they're going to have to win interstate, let alone they're going to have to beat Hawthorn or GWS next week. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough game for Adelaide if they have any chance of winning the flag when they were, pretty much flag favourites only 24 hours ago. Dad, I want to talk about, if we can leave that game, I want to talk about tonight's game. Geelong taking on Brisbane at the MCG. I'm unfortunately not going because you've left me stranded here in Melbourne and I've got no mates that have MCC memberships.
I got my walking stick here too.
I know. I could have gone on the side entrance. Don't tell people are going to hear about this. Do not mention it.
Don't tell anyone.
Do not mention it.
Tell anyone.
We line up in the same line as everybody else and get in at the very same time. Dad, tonight's game, Brisbane. Geelong are slight favourites. I think $1.70 plays about $2.05. Got some big ins. Yeah, Geelong are the favourites. Geelong are just favourites. I think it's going to be potentially, a 1 or 2 kick game. Big in for Brisbane is Lachie Neale coming back into their side and Jared Berry, 2 premiership players. Last year's Gary Ayres medalist in Lachie Neale. The Cats have dropped Reece Stanley, which was a bit of a shocking selection to drop their number 1 ruckman, or it's been a number 1 ruckman at times. In comes Shannon Neale, who's kicked about 40 goals this year. How are you seeing this one? How are you seeing this one at the MCG tonight at 7:40?
Well, the bookmakers have proven they've got no idea. Like how Collingwood were, 245 last night? And
big outsiders.
They've lost one game with bad decisions by the umpires in how many games? Is it 10 times over there?
Yeah.
In 8 or 10 years? And so the bookmakers had no idea. I thought Collingwood were not a good thing, but I really gave Collingwood a big chance last night. Tonight, Geelong, Brisbane. Look, I think Brisbane just win.
Well, Dad, Brisbane have beaten Geelong last 3 times they've played. Brisbane have also won all 3 games of the MCG this year. They beat Collingwood by 40 points. They beat Hawthorn by 6 goals as well, and they beat Richmond. So their form of the MCG stacks up. When it had been poor for about 10 years there, they couldn't win at the G. Now they've got no worries about playing on the hallowed turf. I also favour Brisbane. I think at their best, they are the most talented team in the competition. Still, their midfield is so deep. I expect that Geelong will put some attention into their midfielders. I mean, you got Hugh McCluggage, who was All-Australian a week ago. Lachie Neale, who is a champion player. They traditionally use Oshin Mullen to tag one of the best midfielders. But I think Brisbane are just too deep. And I know last year in the prelim final, Geelong were in a winning position. Brisbane ran over them. I just think that Brisbane have gotten better. And Geelong, despite bringing in Bailey Smith, despite having all these good players, don't quite have the quality that the Lions do. What do you think?
I agree. I think it could well be Collingwood and Brisbane grand final again, couldn't it?
Geez, they've been the last 2 premiers. You played in a classic in 2023. I don't think anyone would be upset about a Collingwood-Brisbane grand final, would they? You know, even as a Collingwood fan, you've got a very healthy respect for Brisbane and what they can dish up.
No, I agree. No, it'll be a good game tonight. It'll be a very good game. Now, could I ask you an opinion of the match review? Has anything come out with De Goey?
Nothing has come out with Jordan De Goey. It's a tough one. He hasn't really leapt off the ground, but he has chosen to bump, has he? Or is it a legitimate smothering attempt or attempt on the ball? It's very line ball. I tend to think that in finals, if it's line ball or it's 50-50, you let it go. I think this is one of those line ball ones where Worrell obviously has felt no ill effects of it. It wasn't like a clear knock to the head. It was more a glancing blow. We saw similar things like that happen in the game. I personally would be letting Jordan De Goey off, not because I want to see Jordan De Goey play, for any sort of reason. I just think in finals, when those ones that are so close, you let him go.
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm probably a bit biased, but I didn't think there was terribly much in it, really. But anyhow,
no.
He did go to smother. Then he thought, "Oh God, this is I better make this as clean as I possibly can." I thought he made every attempt. I don't think he. I don't think he's got a thing to worry about.
Nothing's come out so far. I don't think he has anything to worry about. He should be playing in the prelim final in a couple of weeks' time. But I think coming back to this game between Geelong and Brisbane, we're both on the Brisbane Lions tonight, but we think it will be a very close encounter. Should go down to the final siren. How did Brisbane combat Geelong's half forwards? That's what I want to know. Because Geelong's strength is Brian Myers, Sean Manor, and Jeremy Cameron leading up to the football. Do you think Brisbane's defence is going to be able to quell them in the vast expanses of the G? Because I actually think the Cats play better now at the G than they do at GMHBA because they like to have a bit more space and speed from their half forwards.
Yeah, well, they have to, don't they? They're going to have to. Their ball winners at Brisbane are going to have to help out their backmen when the balls go tacking down. The players like the number one draft pick Rayner,
yep.
he has to produce and show a bit of defence in his game instead of wandering around trying to get kicks.
He's a good offensive player, same as Zach Bailey. They've got some bloody good offensive players, Brisbane. But you're right that Geelong will have to get back.
Have to chip in. I think they can. It'll be hard. So should be good. I'll be watching it.
Yes.
I'll be watching it. So, and then we've got the games tomorrow. Too early to discuss those, I guess. But
yes, we've got two big games tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're. I'm pretty sure Fremantle will win. I can't get them beaten. The other game, Hawthorn and GWS, not sure. I don't know. Either side winning would not surprise me. There's good ins for GWS with. Jesse Hogan and Stringer. But,
well, yes, in comes Stringer, Hogan and Josh Kelly. Out goes Harry Rouston, Jacob Weir and Gruzeski. But Dad, you're right, the betting is $1.85 to $2. The bookies don't know about this one either because the line is 1.5 points. Like initially, when you see this matchup, who do you think's in the better form right now? Who do you trust more between Hawthorn and GWS?
I like Hawthorn. Yeah, Hawthorn I just want to avoid Hawthorn. I want to avoid them like the plague. Like when a Collingwood supporter in 1990, they had the wood on us all year. They beat us during the year, and luckily we avoided them in the finals. In 2010, they beat us in the last game of the year.
That's right. Josh Fraser's 200.
The bloke who cost us about $8 million in trades.
Beamsy.
What's his name? Oh, he never had a kick in 2000 in the premiership. Never had a kick, but he played in the premiership. We kept trading him backwards and forwards.
I know.
And
you got to go out of that deal, Dad. I think you're all right in the long run. And Jack Crisp.
Yeah, but Hawthorn used to worry us. I go back to Lee Matthews' days. The Hawthorn used to destroy us when we had good sides. So
they've had the wood over Collingwood.
I'd like to avoid Hawthorn, which I think we will, but. Who knows? They could well be in the. They could if they win, they'll be in that preliminary final. If Adelaide win, they go. Which way does that go? That comes back to the MCG, doesn't it? I think that's how it works.
Yeah. So if Hawthorn are to win tomorrow night, then they would play the Crows, and then they would play the winner of Brisbane and the Cats, who play tonight. Because of your win last night, you can't play the Hawks until the grand final. But yes, the Hawks have given the Pies plenty of problems in the past. You know what, though? Hawthorn's record at NG Stadium, Sydney Showgrounds, you know what it is, Dad?
Good.
0-6. They've never won there.
Yeah, that's a bad stat, isn't it?
That's a bad omen. They haven't played there a lot because they play some games at Manuka, they play some in Tassie, but they're yet to win at Sydney Showgrounds Stadium, which is a bit of a worry considering how poor the Giants were in the early days.
Yeah, no, that was a big win for Collingwood, a bad loss for the Crows.
It was.
That's as bad as when. Well, don't forget, Collingwood only fell in the fourth. You know, they
well,
look like
we can talk about that now, Dad. How much credit do you give to Ken Hinkley and Travis Boak and Zach Butters for your victory last night? Because they put you in the four.
Yeah, and also Melbourne had us beaten, and somehow we got out of that game and won by, what did we win by? Only a goal.
I think it was 8 points. You looked in a big, big world of hurt at times in that third and fourth quarter, and you were able just to gut it out. But that's your skill. You win close games.
Yeah, we fell into fourth. Let's be honest. Collingwood fell into fourth. Now we're in a Premier League final. You go back to 2002 when I think Port Adelaide only lost 1 or 2 games for the year. Collingwood went over to the old football park, and we were fourth. We fell into fourth after being belted by Footscray in the last home and we fell into fourth.
Yes.
And we went over there and we won.
Yep.
We won over there, and with Ben Johnson playing a great game, and Lakiria, and without Buckley. So,
it happens. Upsets happen like this. What about 2019, Dad? I'm pretty sure Geelong were the 2019. Is that right? Yes, Geelong were the number 1 team. You came into fourth. You were able to knock them off, and then you end up hosting the prelim against the Giants. I'm pretty sure you lost that one. But first versus fourth upsets, they happen all the time, Dad. Before I let you go, can I talk about the night game tomorrow night quickly? Gold Coast are making their finals debut. They go over to Perth, one of the longest road trips in footy. Dad, how long is it, the flight from Gold Coast to Perth?
What's the time difference? The time difference is a couple of hours as well. So then the flights, it's about so you're talking maybe say a 3 to 4 hour flight, and then a couple of, so you're talking 6 hours with time difference. But
yes,
they'd be there. When they play Saturday night? They would be there now, I would think, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would be. They'd be preparing for the game, hoping to get a good night's sleep in WA. How do you see this one? I mean, Freo, they had showed some great signs during the year. Obviously, I think this run for them really started when they knocked off Collingwood at the MCG. Then able to knock off the Doggies at Marvel. I mean, those two teams are so dominant at their home ground. They've managed to secure themselves a home final. Is it just as simple as they're going to go out there and get the job done against the Gold Coast Suns in their first finals game? Or will this be a contest? Do we see the likes of Anderson, Rowell, Witts, and the Gold Coast forward line challenging Fremantle?
Could, but I do think Fremantle will. I think that this could be a bit of a blowout. I think maybe Gold Coast will give it a good crack for maybe half a game and a bit more. But I think you'll find Fremantle will even after halftime. I reckon they'll beat them pretty comfortably. I'm thinking probably 50 plus points. Yeah.
Wow, 50 plus points. Now, you haven't checked the forecast. There's no Mike Larkin over there in Queensland because it's got 10 millimetres of rain. But even in the wet, you think they're going to put him to the sword. The margin, the line, surprisingly to you, is 9.5 points.
Just get on the overs.
Get on Freo to win by 10 plus.
Oh, get on more. 23 plus.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it either. I think Freo should be very, very well favoured in this game. Potentially as Nat Fyfe's last game. He has been named. I think he will be the sub, similar to David Swallow, the very first draft pick for the Gold Coast Suns back in 2010. He'll also be named for this final. We're both on the Dockers in this one, and it should wrap up what is a great first week of finals, Dad. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you one more thing. Besides the finals, NFL kickoff, it's the best weekend in sport. We both know that the biggest event is at 4:45 tomorrow at Moonee Valley Racecourse. Tell me why Baraqiel gets the job done in the Moir Stakes.
I think it's too seasoned a horse, and it's. I think it's like this Alabama Lass or Alabama Lad or Lass, whatever it is. It's good. I've been watching it. I watched a couple of replays of it. It's good. But I think it's just going to be too tough, Baraqiel. I think it'd be too tough for him, in my opinion. And also in the first race, I'll give a tip to you.
Oh, he's dropping tips now.
Miwa.
Moonee Valley Race 1, 12:10 is the jump time. What's it? How do you spell it? Miwa, written by Jordan Childs, trained by Nick Ryan. It is $5. Why are we all over Miwa, Dad? Jumping from barrier 4.
Well, it's an enormous run at its last start. The boy on it rode a very strange race. Very strange race on it. So it won't happen. I think it needed that run, but I'm sure it's about a $5 chance. It was all of a slow pace last start, and it just got held up. It just should have won. It was the best thing beaten you've ever seen. And Nick Ryan, an astute trainer. And a young Geordie Childs, son of G.J. Childs, Gordon Childs, who also a good horse from New Zealand. He won a Cox Plate on.
Sunline, would that be right?
Sunline. It goes all right, doesn't it? Sunline.
Oh, it was all right. They named a bar after it, so it must be pretty good.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I know. That's very nice bar, that. But then we get to Baraqiel. Geez, that's going to be a good race. I tell you who I've watched. I've done a little bit of form here. They tell me that Rothfire.
David Gailey's on the show. What was that? Sorry.
Rothschild. It won't win, but it's been tuned up to run, and I think it might be its third Moir. It's run a place in a couple of them.
Yes, very good Queensland-based horse, trained by Robbie Heathcote. I'll pull up the field now if you want to just quickly go through it. Rothfire is a good horse. Midwest, probably an outside chance. Payline, Golden Boom.
Midwest leads.
Midwest leads, hopefully from barrier 2, sets an okay tempo for Baraqiel just run over the top. So just getting to Baraqiel, it's never lost at Moonee Valley. It's never lost around a bend. And it's never lost second up. Now, it is a 1,000-metre race, but God, Dad, all the ticks are in Baraqiel's favour. We've had a few horses pull out as well. So it's jumping from barrier, 7 or 8 potentially on race day. I'm just very confident. Corstons are confident. Bennett Racing's confident. My good friend Jack Benner is confident. We're both confident. Now, if it does win, what's next? Because Jack was here today talking to me that an Everest is in its possibilities.
Oh, I don't think so.
It's not an Everest quality?
This Alabama lad, it leads from memory. I remember it won at Flemington earlier this year, didn't it, when it came over? It leads, so it's a very interesting runner, Alabama lad.
Yes, it is. Alabama Lass is the favourite. I think it's a very quick horse over the 1,000 metres. Baraqiel obviously isn't a 1,000-metre specialist, but it just run over 1,000 at this track, and it's won well. It's been a decent horse in Oak Hill, so I just can't understand the knockers for Baraqiel, because this is a horse which is getting better. We can't just look at the old form of Baraqiel. It's very lightly raced, and it has got room for improvement, Dad.
I'm just having a look at its last win at Moonee Valley as we speak, and he just sat in behind Midwest. He's cantering. I've never seen a horse going so easy. He's let it down, and then he's strong. He is so strong to the line. If Alabama Lass or Lad, what is it, Lass?
Lass, you got it that time. Except you said Lad again, but you got Lass.
If Alabama Lass happens to be up with the leaders with Midwest, I can see Baraqiel. It'll be just camped on it. Baraqiel wins.
Yep, Baraqiel hopefully sits, gets a nice seat, 4 or 5 off the very top tempo, sits back, and you know what happens, Dad? With Baraqiel, if he gets around the turn, looks you level in the eye, like Seabiscuit, you're never going to see it again. It's going to go whooshka and go flying up the straight. It's a short straight. It loves racing at this track. I'll be there in attendance to cheer it home. And thankfully, we've got on at $15, Dad, and $4.80 the place. Could be a very nice fill-up for us and for the Slams Talk Sports family. We're very much hoping it can deliver in the Group 1 on Saturday. Dad, what are your plans for tomorrow as I let you go?
Tomorrow's Saturday, of course. I'll be watching. I might wander down the local Palm Cove Tavern
of course.
To catch up a couple of blokes for the meat raffle, the lunchtime meat raffle.
And, did you win that recently?
Yes, I did. Oh. Yes, I did. And I'll catch up with a few of the locals, we'll watch me. I'll win, and then I'll come home and I won't stay there all afternoon. I'll come back and I'll watch Baraqiel later in the afternoon. That'll be me for today, tomorrow. Saturday's my day.
Saturday is a great day. It's our day, Dad.
Sometimes we've got family members organise things on Saturday, which I don't do Saturdays, but I do it for Christmas. And
it's like organising a wedding on Cox Plate Day. You just don't do it.
No, you don't. All right, I'll let you go. I've got to get myself ready. I've got to going out for tapas tonight.
Tapas?
Because in fact, the footy tapas, yeah.
Okay, well, what's the tapas restaurant called in Cairns?
Miguel's.
Miguel's, of course.
Why not?
Miguel Jimenez. So you won't be going out to Gilligan's tonight to celebrate the Pies win? Are you done partying? You're focused on the prelim?
Yeah, focused on the prelim. It gets a bit rough down there.
I know, I've heard.
Oh, no, keep away from that. I'll stay by the northern beaches, Palm Cove. I'll just keep out of the way.
Okay, you're going to keep very quiet and enjoy the football over the weekend and all the racing. Dad, I'll let you go. It was a pleasure to speak to you. Good luck and congratulations once again on another famous Collingwood victory. I'm still a little bit bitter that you let me make the decision to join the now derelict Essendon Football Club, but we all make errors. Mine are just much larger than others.
Yeah, well, you can blame that on the school you went to. 90,
Who do I
90%
blame? Daniel, Talen, Yanni, Dane, all these people that go for Essendon, they don't have a clue. Xander, probably number one.
Well, but then you get your good
Christian.
friend Marcus, Hawthorn. They couldn't get it in, could they?
No, they couldn't get to him. He was too strong mentally. Unfortunately, I'm very easy to break. Dad, it was a pleasure to talk to you as always. I'll see you very soon and talk about a bit of footy on the weekend.
Okay, no worries. All right, Ben. I'll let you go. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Good talk to you, Dad. See ya.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, everybody. There is the one and only Michael Duncan. I thought it'd be a nice treat to talk to a true Pies fan, rather than just having me break down the game, talk about, how good's Darcy Moore, how good's Jordan De Goey, or potentially Norman De Goey in a couple of weeks' time. Pies are great. Unfortunately, I'm a salty little bitch when it comes to Collingwood. I could be a massive Pies fan. I could be potentially the Pies number 5,000 supporter. I'm not number one. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not that important. But number 5,000, that's in the range of possibilities when it comes to the Magpie Army. They're a great team. They just get the job done. So much respect for how organised, how disciplined, and how consistent they are. Yeah. Okay, enough Collingwood talk. Hope you got all the information you need for this weekend's game. I kind of went through the teams. I can do them again quickly, but I think you kind of know by now who is in and who is out for this week's game. I'll do it once more off the top. Tonight's game, which you'll probably won't even listen to this podcast in time before it happens. Geelong taking on Brisbane. Shannon Neal comes in. Mark O'Connor comes in. Jai Clark comes in, which is a big stunner. He's barely played this season, and a former top 20 pick. Out goes Reece Stanley. Out goes Mitchell Nevitt, and out goes Jed Buse. And for the Brisbane Lions, in comes Lachlan Neale, the two-time Brownlow medalist. In comes Jared Berry, who has recovered from that shoulder injury suffered against Hawthorn a couple of weekends ago. Out goes Bruce Reville, and out goes James Tunstall. Suddenly, I see you are no longer in the seniors. GWS take on Hawthorn tomorrow. I think 3:30 start time over in Western Sydney. Marcus and John will be in attendance. For the GWS Giants, in comes Joshua Kelly. In comes Jesse Hogan. In comes Jake String Daddy Stringer. Out goes Jacob. Where am I? I'm playing in the twos. Out goes Harry Ralston. Out goes Matt Ruzheski. For the Hawthorn Football Club, in comes Josh Weddle, who has overcome that bone stress he had. I think it was in his foot, was it now? In comes Sam Butler. Ooh, haven't seen Sammy Butler play for a while. He was a very popular bubble boy in Supercoach before he was omitted with soreness, and we never saw him again. For the Hawthorn Football Club, the outs are Mitch Lewis, who has been omitted. He looked a bit proppy last weekend. And just the tall forward line. Hawthorn are not going with the four talls. They're going with Josh Weddle, who can play at all ends of the ground and even in the ruck. And out, which hurts my heart and it hurts my soul, is Luke Bruce. Luke Bruce has been omitted. If Hawthorn lose, Luke Bruce's career is over. He is one of the best small forwards ever. I've just loved watching this man. I hope Hawthorn win for the sake of Luke Bruce, because this man is an absolute marvel. So crafty, so clever, and surprisingly strong. Yeah, actually surprisingly strong. Look at his fend-offs against Will Schofield. I think it was in 2014 or 15 when Hawthorn went over to WA and beat the Eagles in Perth. Little Brewsty was a little stronger than you give him credit for. Finally, we go to we don't go Sunday Night Football. There's no Sunday Night Football anymore, guys. Forget I said that. We go to Saturday Night Football. It is Fremantle taking on the Gold Coast Suns. Now, the line for this, as I said, is 9.5 points, which is a little bit fishy to me. They must expect a fair bit of rain. For Fremantle, in comes Nathan O'Driscoll. In comes Isaiah Dudley. Out goes Corey Wagner. Out goes Sam Swiskowski, who's been so crucial for the Freo Dockers as a pressure and score assist player. He goes out. That is going to hurt them a little bit. For the Gold Coast Suns, in comes David Swallow, their former captain and their not a former number one draft pick. He was the number one draft pick all the way back in 2010. And out goes Jakey Rogers. A relative of Jake Rogers actually gave me a massage in Palm Cove a couple of weeks ago, and she did a very fine job. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Jake Rogers are lucky to be dropped because his family has very good hands. That's it for the preview for round one of the AFL Finals, also known as AFL Finals Week 1. It was an absolute pleasure talking to all of you. It was an absolute pleasure talking to my father, Mr. Michael Duncan. It's a big weekend of sport, guys. It's such a big weekend. We started today with the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Dallas Cowboys. It was an interesting game. It was a little bit kooky. I mean, Philadelphia's defense didn't look quite as good as last season. Their offensive line was okay before Leonard Dickinson got injured. Jalen Hurts was good. Jalen Hurts is my MVP pick. I've discussed this enough on other channels and other shows. Actually, I haven't discussed it enough at all. Jalen Hurts is him. But enough on that for now. Philadelphia took down the Dallas Cowboys. I expect them to be pretty good this year. Also, tomorrow, in the NFL, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the LA Chargers, those superchargers over in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We saw Philadelphia defeat the Green Bay Packers last year in Brazil in what was a pretty interesting game. Saquon Barkley scored, 3 touchdowns in the end in his Philadelphia Eagles debut, but the ground was reminiscent of, playing in Watsonia or playing in One Turner, okay? It was a cow paddock. It was similar to the grounds I saw out in Mitcham. Now, the actual footy ground in Mitcham was fine, but the cow paddocks, they'd seen better days. That's what they're going to be playing on in Brazil tomorrow, but it should be an interesting game between Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the LA Chargers led by Justin Herbert. And then finally, tomorrow we have 2 more AFL finals, and we have the great Baraqiel running at 4:45 at Moonee Valley Racecourse. I cannot wait for what is my favourite sporting weekend of the year. I'll see you all next week to talk about the AFL Finals Week 1, to preview AFL Finals Week 2, and to dissect what is a huge Week 1 of the NFL season. But until then, you know where to find me. Slam Talk Sports on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, and of course on YouTube, where you're watching me right now. You can hear this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and of course watch on YouTube. Until then, I'll see you all. Enjoy the weekend. Slam is talking the sports, and he'll be doing it for a long time. Peace.